Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to this year's 8th annual Intendence Film Festival. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Intendence Film Festival is here to support local and international filmmakers and storytellers. If you've got a passion for film, a passion for getting your story out there, we want to hear from you. We've had some amazing films these last 2 days. I mean, we kind of crammed it down. We used to be 3 days. We crammed it down to 2 days, and you guys have really shown us what it's like to get the best of the best here in these last 2 days. We're here at Denver Open Media. Wanted to give a shout out to them. They are an amazing, yes, round of applause for Denver Open Media. This is community-driven, public access, TV, radio, any kind of outlet you can think of to share your passion with the world. It's here at Denver Open Media. They have memberships. If you need equipment, they have it. If you need programs to learn how to use that equipment, we all know, you've got it here at Denver Open Media. And they have hosted us for the last 4 years now, and we are so appreciative of that. And we're here with the filmmakers from today's Saturday Intendence Film Festival, the big day, the all-day film festival. So I'm going to open up the film festival questionnaire to anyone that has questions for any of our filmmakers that saw these films in the last few blocks. Who's first? I have a question. All right, first question.
Yeah, hi, this question's for Doug. Is this on?
It should be.
Okay. This question's for Doug. What was the whole process going through tracking these people down, trying to get them to maybe relive like their memories, and then they've been inundated with that fitness now is performance-based and not health-based, which kind of goes against what they were taught. So kind of what was the process trying to find them, and were a lot of people open to talk about it or not?
A lot of people were not open to talk about. If you do documentaries, you'll know that most people always say no, and then you keep talking until they say yes. You got to find some point. The process is we knew about this one school that existed 50 years ago, La Sierra High, and I actually used Facebook, reaching out to my friends. Did anyone know anyone? And it turned out that I think I had 8 that went to that school, and which was kind of amazing to me. And it just started networking from there. I just worked with those who were interested in this, who were really passionate, and they set it all up. I mean, one example is that Dr. John Kilbourne, who was in the film, he says, my good friend John Rady, who wrote the book Spark, the guy at Harvard, I had been approaching Dr. John Rady for 6 months and got not a no, I got nothing from him. And then I had this Dr. Kilbourne in my house. I interviewed him in my own family room. That's why he's so close on his face. I was trying to make it look like a library behind him. It's just right in my own house. And he says, my good friend John Rady, and I just everything's paused right there. Well, wait. How good of a friend? Yeah. He goes, well, he should be in your film. I'm glad you think that. I've actually, anyway, so he made it happen. Next day, John's calling me, and now I'm friends with these people. And yeah, so it really works that way. It was a network thing. The process took 4 years. It was not a small project. Interviewed 250 people, 28 different states. I put $500,000 of my own house money into the film. And so we're trying to actually make a pretty big change. And the NBA's agreed to get behind this. I have a CEO of an oil company, just retired. He's going to all the CEOs across the country and going to share this. And it's going to be played to all the program managers at all the medical schools and residency programs throughout the world this summer. So we're trying to really make this happen.
That's pretty awesome.
Sorry, actually, I have a question really quick. I wasn't in studio. I was in Studio B. Can I see your film? That sounds freaking phenomenal, man. How do I find it?
I was going to say, let me gateway into that. We'll go down the line.
Sorry.
Give me a one line about your film and where we can learn more about it if we did not get to catch your film today.
The Why We Exercise, and you can see it on August 22nd everywhere online, iTunes, Amazon, everything else at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when it's released.
And it's called Motivation Factor.
It's called The Motivation Factor, and the official site's motivationmovie.com, #motivationmovie.
You're not a non-partisan audience group. No, I'm just kidding. All right, and our next filmmaker, tell me a little bit.
Oh, I'm not the filmmaker. Richard Corso couldn't be here today due to bad fish tacos. But
We've all
I'm
been there.
representing the film Fish. I'm one of the lead principal actors. And basically, it's just another return to film noir. So if anybody saw it, I hope you enjoyed.
I have a short movie, Brick's Gambit, and you can find that on, well, it's not available to the public yet, or maybe other film festivals, but it will be on ionogenmedia.com.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Maxwell. I made the film River. It's a 10-minute film which explores very subtle properties of water, light, refractions, reflections, motion in rivers. So it's kind of a documentary. It's also an environmental film, so that you come away loving to see the beauty of rivers through light and motion. And you can find my work, and I've done other water works. Google my name, Stephanie Maxwell, on Vimeo.
I'm Conan On, and I'm not a filmmaker, but the filmmaker was Broderick E. Stevens. Even though he cannot make it here, I'm subbing for him, and I'm the actor for Learning to Drive. And it's a short film.
I'm Ralph Giordano, and I'm producer for Peccadillo, and this is...
Gary Nuger, actor in Peccadillo.
And one word about it, or phrase, would be murder and mayhem.
All right, does anyone have any specific questions? All right, it's all up to me. The most trying part of making your film, the kind of the crux or the breaking point of your film where you had the most trouble. Go.
We made a crowdfunding video 2 years ago. It went viral because someone lifted our YouTube video and put it on their own Facebook page, and the links went to where they were selling fitness apparel and other things, and people copied that. It got 50 million views on Facebook, of which we made on Facebook, 50 million views on Facebook, 700,000 views on YouTube, of which we made 0 from everything on that. That was lesson learned. Always upload your own version to Facebook. And after that moment, when we didn't get the 500,000 we were looking for, I just had to decide, what are we going to do? And some lady had donated $50, and she was in her 60s, and her husband was unemployed at the time. And I thought, well, she could do that. We're never going to be president or anything else, but this might be my moment, to do something. And it was very inspiring, and it's been extremely rewarding. It's one of the coolest experiences our whole family's gone through, and my whole attitude towards other people have changed because I'm trying to make a positive difference. I mean, I've been immune to all the nonsense that's been going on in our nation. So it's been a cool experience, but it was a difficult one. That was a tough day when we watched those views start going crazy. You're getting nada. So, yeah.
All right, so as an actor from Fish, what is your most trying part of this whole film?
Well, I mean, I'll try to answer this outside of just the actor's realm. So, I mean, we had a scene that was that took place in a car, and the audio just went, absolutely bonkers, which is going to happen. So that scene is without audio, but fortunately enough, the production crew and everybody that came together afterwards in post-production were able to kind of, mitigate that a little bit, and it turned out to be, a fairly decent scene. So, I mean, on the whole, I don't think there was really anything that went wrong with the production that wasn't corrected in post. I mean, that's a great thing about doing a film that isn't a documentary, right? I mean, it's just a bunch of actors out there, doing their own thing. So yeah, you just fix it in post. So
Movie magic.
Right? Yeah, movie magic. That's all I got, though. Really.
All right.
Fix it in post is actually a line from our next movie. Scheduling is always difficult, so that's been an issue, but I think it went fairly well with Brick's Gambit. I would say it was fairly smooth. We had one party scene where we needed a lot of people, and we didn't know if we were going to get all the people we wanted, but it worked out really fine. And then we did have a couple of incidents, which I'll relay. One is that I had just temporarily parked in a car lot. And the reason we parked there is because I thought, let's see if this location is going to be good. And I forgot that I had my car in there, and they closed the lot, and my car was stuck there overnight. Luckily, I was able to get in the morning, so no big loss.
Well, mine's not so much about scheduling. Mine is about angles of sun, temperature, if there's a wind or no wind, and it'll make a lot of difference in what the kind of imagery I'll be able to capture. But I think the most difficult thing for me is actually getting in the water, because I submerged myself pretty much in water, shooting very close to the surface of water, and trying not to get the camera wet, and depending on a really cheap tripod that I got at Walmart that it was so cheap you could bend it in different ways, and it stays steady if you pressure it at a certain angle. And also keeping those poses long enough so I could get some good steady footage. That was the most difficult part.
Well, the most difficult for me is that I am not a filmmaker just yet. Well, that's the reason. Well, I like to go into filmmaking classes so that I can direct some films that I would love to do.
Before I say what I'm going to say about our film, I just want to point out to this young man who everybody looks at him, he's like, this is his young kid, but he's actually a veteran of filmmaking because he's done a lot of films. And how old are you, Connor?
I'm actually 22.
Yeah, that's young because I'm 57. So he's done a lot, including the award-winning Mention, which I just have to say it's an outstanding film and you do a great job in it. So I just wanted to.
Let's give it up for Connor, everybody.
Yeah, I think everybody. Well, since everybody said scheduling, which is always a nightmare, and let me just touch on that just briefly, is I've never wanted to do a 48-hour film project, but that's ultimately what we ended up doing because we had 2 days to make the film just because of scheduling. But that's just common when we're making films. I think the biggest thing with this film, because there was a lot of gunplay in it, and I just, as producer, I just insisted upon safety because we hear so many things, and I made sure that before and after every scene that dealt with guns, I don't care how many times we looked, we had to have our gun handler manage it and look, and to me that was it might have taken a little bit more time, and I know I pissed off a couple people, but I don't care. That's the way we run our sets. What do you think?
I appreciate your safety since that gun was pointed at me. Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about the question, what was difficult when you're working with really talented actors and people both in front of the screen, in front of the camera and behind the camera. It's really easy. And so there really wasn't anything difficult about Peccadillo for me. It was really a joy to work on. So that's it.
Has anyone thought of any other questions at this current point in time? No? No? Oh, someone in the line has thought of a question? How about budget? Oh, we got a budget. We get a question, not a budget.
I had a question specifically about the motivation factor. Just when you guys found the doctors that were doing the program, were they doing the program before that, or did you bring it to them?
They started doing the program when they saw that crowdfunding video that got the 50 million views.
Okay.
Who do you get anything from? A lot of people did see that, thankfully.
Yeah.
And that Dr. Ray Turner, he sent it to a couple members, and they had just learned that neurosurgeons have the highest mortality rate. More of them die in their 40s than any other occupation. I mean, it's the worst. They have 14-hour long surgeries, and so they decided they had to do something. So they decided to do this program, and they got to do something that just looked cool. It inspired them. Yeah. And so they got going on it before they tried to reach out to me, and actually I was getting a lot of emails and I didn't respond. 2 months later, I was getting a lot less emails, and they wrote me, and I instantly responded, and they told me to do this program. I got to come visit you, and so I went out to South Carolina, and we filmed them. Yeah.
Okay, same question for everyone, or? I was like, does that same question apply for everyone, or just a specific filmmaker? Everyone? All right. All right, pass it on down the line. Oh, will you repeat the question for the other filmmakers, please?
I was just asking about where he found this certain group that popped up that was like kind of unrelated. So I guess the question I would ask the rest of you guys would be, no, would be like, what kind of like happy accidents did you guys have in your creative process?
That's a great question. Let's hear about your happy accidents.
Sure. Fish was kind of a conglomerate of happy accidents, really. So, I mean, there was a really good script written by Corso, and he directed the film himself, but he allows a lot of leeway for play. And as an actor, I can't ask for anything better than that, than a director that just kind of lets me play out there and find those little moments within the character that, they can kind of define it, they can kind of make it a little bit more than what's on the page, and Corso allows that in droves. So it was a phenomenal experience working with a director like that, and I highly recommend any of you actors out there talk to Corso. So, thanks.
Nice. Happy accidents. We definitely had a few. The biggest one is the group of people that we've worked with. We've worked with them previously, and they are a wonderful group of people. Our actors, our crew, just amazing, really amazing people, and that's been a joy to be able to work with these people. We had 2 locations, which I was a little worried about getting, and we were able to get those locations without a problem. So that sort of just fell into place. And then there were just moments that weren't necessarily written in the script. But again, in terms of working with actors, I love to see what the actors can bring to the role. And we had some moments where it just happened, where it wasn't quite what I had expected, but it worked beautifully. So it's things like that I'll always remember.
Yeah, things that happen and they work beautifully. I think my film is really predicated on accidents. I just need to put myself in the water in some position and wait and film and keep looking and also learning from the water. I did a film in the ocean where it actually taught me to move my camera in a certain way. River was different, so I had to learn from the river. Reflection on water and a constant kind of motion is always just, it's always changing. It's an animation in nature which I go after and try to coordinate. I lose I see certain things and it's like, oh darn, I wish I could, there it goes, But, accumulating enough footage and then being able to create a work which has a certain kind of drama, a dramatic structure is the experience I want to deliver.
Well, the only accident in learning to drive was putting maple syrup in a gas tank. Then the other accident will be driving a car to a desert place that's full of 2 convicts who actually want to fix a car. Those are the only accidents in the film.
Well, I was pretty lucky. I had my dream cast. I had a pretty calm director, great crew. So I think the thing that perhaps I would look at maybe as a happy accident is my director convincing me that he needed time to shoot some B-roll footage with our lead actor at a local festival that we had in Colorado Springs, which I argued against, and it ended up being footage I really loved. So, listen to your director, and then vice versa. Then he listened to me about some sequences that I felt that we needed to shoot, which we did like the very last minute, which actually featured Gary, which I'm glad we did because it led further insight into the insanity of our lead actor, played by Matt Block, of what he was really thinking, how he was viewing Gary's character. So I guess I was fortunate in that sense, just to work with a very good open crew.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, those shots with the light and shadow and how you use that, just on the spur of the moment. Yeah.
It's funny because some friends were watching the film, and they didn't know anything about the film, which was kind of cool. But they knew I was producer of the film, and later on they go, "Did you influence those shots?" Because if those of you who know me, noir and that kind of thing is very much me. So you'll see that in a lot of films I work on. Yes. Hi, Lizzie.
So should I give an intro?
Yes. Let's. We have the.
Sorry, guys, we're late.
The filmmakers from Pineapple Love. Let's hear a one-liner about your film.
Sure. So online dating is a big thing nowadays, and everyone knows online dating is pretty terrible. So what we did is made a film about a really bad online date. And these 2 people go mountain biking, this guy being one of them. And the guy he isn't very good, but he's acting very macho about it. So
we never see that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's not a one-liner, but that is the film. So Happy Accidents. The whole film was an accident, honestly. So what really happened is we went out to Buffalo Creek with our crew. We mountain biked out, and we were shooting a marketing film for our storytelling company. And what basically happened is we shot so much footage that we're like, there's a 3-act story here. This guy is hilarious. So I was like, let's cut together a film, and literally took us 1 week, and we edited it together, and we were just lucky that Hector's hilarious, our co-star was hilarious, Val, and yeah, we were really lucky. The whole thing was improv too, so Hector can talk about that.
And that's what I was going to say as well, that was the really fun piece about the film is we went out there, no screenplay, no script, just get out there, put your art to the test, and let's go have some fun. And we were just having a fantastic time, and lo and behold, we said, we have a film here. And it was one of the most fun experiences we've had.
Is there another way to make a film? How we all did it, right?
Thank you, guys. I have time for one more question? If anyone has a real question, all right. All right, real fun question. Gotcha.
We all know that movies and food and comfort food goes together. How would you pair your movie and with what food?
Ooh.
What food should I watch if I'm watching your movies? Pineapples apparently, and some egg whites might be on either end.
No,
but
you got kale.
what would you guys
Kale.
recommend for real?
All right, ready?
Yeah, I would go kale.
Kale. What's the next one?
Hey, sorry, Corso. Yeah, fish tacos, man.
Yeah, all right.
Shoot 'em up.
I'll say pizza.
You know, I just read an article about a couple who actually live on the energy from light, and I can really relate to that.
Well,
It's a real thing.
actually, pancakes and syrup. Maple syrup. In the car. Well, the other actor was actually driving, and I was eating pancakes on the road.
It's perfect.
Hot tamale.
Well, I got to enjoy a couple of really nice steaks while we were shooting. So for me, it was great. It was great.
Rare, medium rare.
Medium rare. Put a tourniquet on it and serve it up.
This isn't a food, but pineapple vodka, because you don't know why you're drinking it, or or why you enjoy it, just like the film.
In addition to pineapple vodka, I'm Greek, so that means there's got to be great food. So we're talking about some good gyros or some type of lamb dish, so that's what we're talking about.
Got it. Got it. All right. I want to thank all of our filmmakers for coming out to this. Intendence Film Festival really prides ourselves on showcasing community and film and indie, and we're really trying to push for that. Get your passion out there. Show it in any media forum that you can. And I'm just so happy that you guys chose us to showcase your passions, and also that we chose you to showcase your passions. This here at Denver Open Media is the best outlet you have for those of you that are breaking into filmmaking, that are actors, that are wanting to make your own film. You can become a member here. You can showcase anything you want on community television. For those of you that are just tuning in, if you want to watch the whole thing that we just did tonight, it's going to be on denveropenmedia.org. And there's a couple forward slashes that I'm not going to try to remember or pronounce improperly. But if you go on denveropenmedia.org, you can find the correct links to tonight from there. Or if you happen to be out on Channel 58 or Channel 881 HD, if you're really an HD fan, that's where you can watch all of this. I'm just so happy you guys are here, and I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for coming. I think the last thing that I would say is we do have karaoke and more libations upstairs. So I invite everyone to come join us, filmmakers and the like. And if you want to find out about everyone's film, I'm sure these lovely filmmakers will have no problem posting their promotional materials on our Facebook page for you all to find at home and learn more about. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. Woo! All right, to karaoke. Everyone meet me upstairs. So I'm going to get another beer. Let's do this.
To make it an ass for ourselves.
Yes. What would you say means to you?
Intendence. Yes. Yes. I would challenge this word in Scrabble.
You would challenge
Yeah,
Star
is this like
Festival?
some massive game of balderdash going on here?
A little.
I failed 4th grade spelling, so I'm not really sure.
So
Totally combination of words. Intendence is all about the intent of doing something.
Kind of
But like, you know, intendence, like, dude, it's so far flung. I can't even. Intendence.
Prosperous.
To me, it means to intend to do something.
It's sexy riding a motorcycle on the cars.
A purpose, a movement. Yes, a movement with purpose. Intendence. Yes. Yes.
The word attendance.
It's a combination of intense attendance. I like what you said. Intending to attend. Where is it?
It sounds like a skateboard company. That's all there is to it.
a skateboard company.
Well, I would say that it is a perseverance and an inner drive to accomplish something.
I don't know. It's a fantastic group that seems very informational.
Thank you.
To be yourself.
That's right. There you go.
I wish I had a Hanukkah right now.